We all want the same thing. The Freedom Center focuses on the experience of people of African descent, what was, how we transcended it, and then it also looks at efforts that are still ongoing, not only within the black community, but within the world in general. One of the things that we do, and that I've done in my work, in working outside the center, is when I talk to young white students, I remind them that their grandmothers and great-grandmothers did not get to vote until 1922. White women couldn't vote. They were second-class citizens. We were third-class citizens, because I had classmates when I was in college that after we graduated and they went back to Alabama or wherever, they couldn't vote. They couldn't pass the literacy test, and they had more education than the head of the registrar, the voting registrar in Selma, Alabama. I had classmates from Selma. But we've had restrictions imposed on anyone who was different, not only in our culture but around the world. For whatever reason, it seems that someone always has to have somebody else to look down on and to restrict, to make sure they aren't competitive. And what we are attempting to do is make it clear that we're better as a whole society when we can use all our resources. I'm blessed to have done the largest exhibit of its kind in the country. It's called the Slave Pen. And we moved it out of an environment like this to the inside of our museum. We took it apart piece by piece. We numbered each part and then put it back together. When I was called and told that this man wanted to donate it to us, my training and my education and my life's experience said all those had been burned, all of them had been destroyed, with the exception of the one in Alexandria, Virginia. And there was one in Richmond that they built I-95 over. But this one was intact, so the man said. Well, it was. And we have 802 pages of documentation that documents that, and the Interior Department of the United States government has certified it. And then we disassembled it, and an architect with whom I've worked now for the last 50 years, we put it back together. And a gentleman from New Orleans who was educated partially by a couple of nuns that you know, got me a blank check to put this thing back together. I spent $2 million. Nobody bothered me. You got to do it this way? No, I'm the expert. I've been doing this since I was 13. And I know what I don't know. I can't do that. So I got a German team to help me disassemble it. Man's last name was Gaker. I work with a German architect, Bruce Getzmann, who's 6'5". But you're not gonna touch the blood. You're not gonna touch the spit. That's my lifeline. We're gonna preserve it all. The 802 pages of research and documentation licensed my being able to be disagreeable sometimes. That's what I want to be able to leave. Because I don't know any other place where that would even tolerate our presence. and it has to work here. And if it works in our community, then it helps the entire community. That's our major hurdle. Our last one, but our major hurdle.
Thank you.
Thank you.